Last January, an animated feature was released that started 2014 on a good note. Or at least, I thought it did. The reaction from other people was less than favorable, with plenty calling it obnoxious and unfunny. I respectfully disagree. And today, I'm going to defend this animated feature. I'm referring to none other than The Nut Job. The Nut Job started life as a short film called Surly Squirrel, a CG short directed by former Disney animator Peter Lipinoides. While the animation looked very low budget, the short had a zippy energy to it, and its success at festivals led to a feature film deal with Canadian animation studio Toonbox Entertainment, and eventually joined by Korean investors. And I think the film did a very good job of bringing the short's comedic timing and cartoony approach to a full-length format. But let's start with the aspect that got criticized the most. Its lead character. Surly was seen as unlikable, but I think that was an essential part of his character. The whole obstacle of the film, after all, is this, well, surly squirrel trying to steal the nuts while dealing with the park animals that he feels are constantly getting in his way. In many ways, I found him reminiscent of Daffy Duck. I actually found him very much a likable jerk, and I rooted for him. One gets the sense he's been treated poorly by the animals, thus creating this resentment towards them. Throughout the movie, we see him carefully formulating plans and having a keen eye for handling this caper. However, the other animals seem to get in his way. Most notable is Raccoon, the film's villain. The movie quickly establishes that he has it in for Surly, mainly because of him being more independent than the animals he has control over, which only makes Surly that much more sympathetic. Also helping is Will Arnett, who brings a lot of chutzpah to the role and portrays him as appropriately cunning and smart. I actually really like that the filmmakers did not hold back his less admirable traits, and those worked in making him a more dimensional character. Then there's the humor, which brings to mind Looney Tunes. The comedy zooms along and fits with the caper plot the film is going for. The filmmakers clearly took a lot of inspiration from classic cartoons, especially the sequence in which Surly finds himself in the big city for the first time. However, those moments don't simply exist for funny gags involving Surly falling over, but also present some solid character development as we see him trying to find his place in this new world. How does it compare to the park? Can he be as successful in getting food? Those are the things running through his mind, and the animators do a superb job of showing that thought process of his, while he's completely pulverized through the course of the scene. I also like that the story and comedic situations seem to get bigger and bigger, and seems to intersect more with the human's heist plot as it goes on. Throughout it all, alliances are formed and friendships break apart, all in the simple pursuit of nuts. There are even times when it's almost unpredictable. From the looks of things, Precious the Pug might be a frequent adversary in Surly's quest for the nuts, but I like how the script then turns this around and makes her a partner and colleague. And the second we see Andy, played surprisingly fittingly by Katherine Heigl, I'm pretty sure everyone in the audience thought that she would warm to Sully and they'd become a love interest. Of course, it's great that she's able to see more of his potential than the other park animals, but the film never once gives them a romance or even suggests it. That's actually very refreshing in this day and age when it seems like protagonists of opposite genders almost always get together. Raccoon is obviously a villain from the start, but he's able to be an intimidating force for Surly, and the character designers and animators deserve a lot of praise for making a cardinal look sinister. This even parallels what's going on with the human heist, as backs are stabbed, and it all culminates into a fantastic car chase at the end. I also have to commend the design team for the 1950s look of the production, which of course fits the classic Warner Brothers tone of the comedy. Even the gangsters feel like they are out of a cartoon Fritz Freleng might have directed. Yes, there are dramatic moments and even scenes of tension, but The Nut Job is first and foremost a comedic caper, and the team behind the film managed to keep the pace going, and I find myself laughing through pretty much the entire thing. And these jokes don't just exist in a vacuum either, as they fit the scenario and the characters, whether it's the cunningness of Surly, the silent comedy of Buddy the Rat, or the more wacky bits of humor supplied by Grayson, the so-called park hero. The filmmakers have also clearly watched squirrels in their backyard, scurrying for nuts, because they captured their behavior spot on, the way Surly acts and moves. Now, there are a couple of lowbrow jokes thrown in there, like a fart joke here and there, but they don't distract too much from the more successful and well-timed gags in The Nut Job. What is distracting, however, is the use of modern pop music in a film clearly set in the 1950s. Peter Lipinoidis originally wanted the soundtrack to consist of Frank Sinatra songs, but the Korean investors forced him to add the modern pop tunes to appeal to the younger crowd. We also get this. When this end credit sequence appeared after what was a very good finale, I almost cursed the screen. It's such an obvious attempt by the producers to pander to... Actually, I'm not sure who the audience is for this, as I thought this fad died in popularity ages ago. Thankfully, it's relegated to the end credits, but it still does not fit the tone of the rest of the movie whatsoever. Those few issues aside, I honestly found The Nut Job to be a funny little caper, and I appreciate the cartoony elements of the script and animation. People seem to turn their noses up when a small and unproven animation company decides to throw their hat into the animated feature ring. I think we should be supportive of new talent, and I like that audiences were willing to give this film a chance, even if the trailers unfortunately emphasize the dancing and modern music over the funny slapstick and caper plot. Thanks to the box office success of The Nut Job, we are getting a sequel next year, and I'm really looking forward to it. I even got the chance to talk to the director of the first film at a local animation festival last summer, and believe it or not, he said he did read the less kind reviews the film got. But they are working hard on the sequel and listening to criticisms the first one got. Though I hope the writers don't tone down Surly too much, as that would ruin the point of the character, I feel. But I trust them, and I'm looking forward to another fun adventure with those crazy park animals coming next January. See you next time.